Comcast Cablevision Channel 5 presents high school baseball. Today in Washington Township, it's a marquee matchup in South Jersey as the Washington Township Minutemen play host to the Rams of Gloucester Catholic. Pleasant good day to you all. Ed Benkin here with Shawn Leary. And Shawn, you look at the calendar, it's April. It's still early April. There's still a lot to be decided. This is a non-league game, but when Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic get together, it's a marquee matchup every year.
Yeah, this is Easter Monday, and I guess all these kids are pretty excited, probably thinking about this over dinner yesterday. When you get a game like this early on, you get juiced up, you get excited. You really want to see, for both coaches, you also see where your team is. You know, you really get a chance to say, are we going to be able to play with the big dogs? Obviously, these are two of the powers in South Jersey, and you really get a barometer of where your team is at this particular point in the season.
Well, Gloucester Catholic, we don't even want to use the word rebuilding. They lost 11 letter winners last year. It doesn't matter. Here they are again, rolling along at 6-1. And as usual, it's a deep team, and they have a spark in the lineup. And Dan Mayo, who probably had the shortest road trip of the season for him today.
Right. There's one term or one word that's not in Gloucester Catholic, and it's rebuilding. They always retool every single year. It doesn't matter how many players they lose. They're going to have guys like Mayo at the top of the lineup that can do it for you. He's not the prototypical leadoff hitter that we've seen from Gloucester Catholic over the years. Usually you get a guy who's going to get on base, steal a lot of bases. He can do that, but he also has a little bit of pop in his bat. Although he's a little guy, he does have some power. He's going to strike out a little bit more, but he's going to get on base. He's going to steal bases, and every once in a while he can turn on one.
And he's got town bragging rights because he's from Washington Township, so as we say, a very short road trip for him. Now you look at this Washington Township team, just like Gloucester Catholic, very deep with their pitching, very deep in all their other spots too. And one of the key cogs of this squad, someone who can hit, who can run, and could do it all, is Ryan D'Imperio.
Yeah, you're right. This is a guy who played some catcher, a little outfield. You know, he's got 16 stolen bases from last season, but he's a big, strong kid. He's a football player, plays linebacker for the Washington Township Minutemen, but he's also a guy that will do anything for a coach. And that's the type of player, especially in the middle of your lineup. When you get a guy who can pop one out, but also can steal some bases, you're going to be able to produce a lot of runs. This is a guy that plays great defense. You know, he's a power hitter from the plate, and he's a little bit of an intimidating figure when he's up there because of his name that goes throughout South Jersey during the football seasons. So he really brings a lot to this Minutemen team.
Well, two of the best teams in South Jersey ready to go at it. Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic coming up next on Comcast Cablevision Channel 5. Welcome back to Washington Township. Ed Benkin here with Shawn Leary as we get set for our first pitch of the game this afternoon between Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic. Dan Mayo, the Washington Township resident, leading it off for Gloucester Catholic. Center fielder, the spark plug for this Rams team. That seems a little repetitious, Shawn. Every year there seems to be a guy like this for Gloucester Catholic that at the top of the lineup you know is going to set the table.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is this is a guy who's going to be able to get on base. Either he's drawing walks or he's able to get on. But one of the things that you get with this guy is a little bonus. You know, he's kind of like, as the coach put it, bitter for better, where he's going to strike out a little bit, but he's going to also be able to find some gaps and maybe drive the ball. And that's not what Gloucester Catholic leadoff hitters have been about over the years. Usually there are guys that are going to take a lot of pitches, get on base, and steal. It really cause havoc on the base pads.
Matt Schleicher on the mound for Washington Township, but the first pitch is high for a ball. Schleicher, another one of those veteran pitchers for the Minutemen, 5-1 last season here at Washington Township. Pressing low, 2-0, and again, Mayo will make a pitcher work every time he gets up to the plate. That one at the knees for a called strike. He'll be followed by Matt Blackburn and Vinny Damon this inning, and they will set the table at the top of the order for the Rams. Pressing low, 3-1 the count now to Mayo, a guy who you do not want to, as if you would with anybody else, issue a free pass to.
That's right. I mean, I don't care what level you're on, you always hear about seeing a lot of pitches at that first at bat.
Swings and fouls that one down the right field side, out of play. It's a full count, 3-2 to Dan Mayo, who, no surprise, is making a pitcher work at his first at-bat.
Well, he got a good look at that pitch. He just swung a little bit late on it, so you could tell Mike's throwing some good heat up there. But he was expecting fastball. He was looking at it right over the middle of the plate. Just wasn't able to catch up to it.
Fastball, that's popped high into the air, foul out of play. The Minutemen defense, Pat Moffitt doing the catching for Schleicher, Bob Gorski at first, Mike Rissanito at second, Dan Betteridge at shortstop, Mike Schatzman at third, Ryan D'Imperio in left field today, Bill Rice in right field for Washington Township. As the 3-2 pitch is fouled straight back, and in center field today for the Minutemen and is going to be Ken Stanley. This Washington Township defense, along with Gloucester Catholic, very efficient. That one pop foul, and that will go towards the right field side. Giving a look at it is Bob Gorski near the wall, takes a look and just can't catch up with it. Tough play, not just with the wall coming up, but with the sun in the eyes as well.
Hey, it looks like he was expecting that wall to get into his way, and it did a little bit. He was trying to feel for it, wasn't able to get over in time. May was just not catching up to this fastball. It looked like Schleicher also took a little bit off of it.
This is a gorgeous facility here at Washington Township for baseball. In fact, they had what used to be the Minuteman Monster out in left field. They still have a little higher fence out in left, but they used to have a big wall a la Fenway Park. That one swung and popped up high into the air. Drifting back is center fielder Ken Stanley, and he will squeeze it for out number 1.
You can see how the ball jumps off of his bat, though. He's got a good swing, and Mayo has certainly been a guy that's going to be looked at for the next 2 years, only a junior, be able to set the table for this team.
Here is Matt Blackburn standing in for Gloucester Catholic. Blackburn at shortstop today, also an outstanding pitcher for this Minutemen squad. Lost the game on Saturday against Somerville, but did not pitch badly in that defeat. Swings and fouls the first one straight back. Blackburn was a relief pitcher last year, moved into the starting rotation, and he'll be playing at Temple next year. Swung and pop fair rather towards the right side. Giving a look as the second baseman is squeezing it, and is Mike Rosanito for out number 2. Good pitch that time by Schleicher. Shawn was able to get it on his fist.
Yeah, and that's one of the things he's done earlier in this game is he's using his fastball effectively, locating it pretty well, and he's pitching smart. He realizes in the first at-bat with Mayo that he's not catching up to his fastball, so you're not going to change it up. You just keep going to that. Usually if a guy's not catching up to it, you're going to be able to get him. You're usually going to get him out. And this time with Blackburn, you're right, just pitching him on the inside, getting up on his fist a little bit.
Damon looks at the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0.
That really does a lot. I'll tell you, the first inning's really important for somebody's confidence. Your pitcher goes out there and he's able to get a team like Gloucester Catholic to go down 1, 2, 3. If he's able to get Damon here, that says a lot to the rest of the day for him. He's really going to be confident.
Time is called with the count 1-1. These two teams met twice last year. Gloucester Catholic winning both. They won the regular season matchup, also beat Washington Township in the Diamond Classic. Could see these two teams meet again in the Diamond this year. Fastball that's ripped foul. A good cut at that one.
Yeah, he did.
Straight back.
Yeah, he just missed that one. That was a good swing. He was looking fastball. He was able to extend his arms. The ball's out over the plate a little bit, and that's a pitch where he could drive into the gaps or pull one. See Coach Dennis Barth, the manager. It's his time of year. He's got baseball, taxes. He has a lot of things going on.
The day of this game is April 17th, which this year is the tax deadline day because April 15th fell on the weekend. So he has to worry about playing Somerville, playing Washington Township, and getting everything in under the deadline. Checks the pitch.
He held up.
And that'll make the count full at 3-2. And of course, Coach Barth working with his accounting duties as well. It is a busy time of year. Probably relief once he gets past tax time in mid-April. Fastball popped up high into the air. Giving it a look now is the catcher, Pat Moffitt, but it will go out of play.
That could have did some damage. That ball, I don't think anybody picked it up. There's about 50 people behind us in the stands, and all of us were kind of looking up. We had no idea where that ball landed, where that ball was going to land. Everyone just holding for the table, racing for the hit.
The table was our protection, fortunately. We are right behind, a little bit to the left of the home plate area. Check this swing, ball 4, good at bat by Damon. He'll head to first base with 2 outs. And that'll bring on Anthony Mergliano, the first baseman. It's funny, talking to Coach Barth before the game, he said, well, a lot of our hitters, they really haven't hit as much as we wanted to early on. Now, they were shut out on Saturday, but they've scored 71 runs in 7 games, so somebody's hitting the ball for Gloucester Catholic.
Yeah, you know, they're doing things well. And this is a team that, like you had said, we talked about before the game, depth is not an issue for either team. Usually you're going to have guys that are able to produce for you in some manner. When you have that down through the lineup, you have guys at the bottom of the order getting it done for you. You're going to score a lot of runs.
Pitch missing low for a ball. The latest poll in the Courier had Gloucester Catholic at 2, Washington Township at 5. How much do polls matter earlier in the year? In one poll, Washington Township is 5th. In the other poll, they're 1st.
Yeah, I'm a newspaper guy, but I'm not a big fan of the polls. I don't think it matters. You'll find out who the best in South Jersey is, in my opinion, when the Diamond Classic comes and when the South Jersey groups come. That's when it matters to me. Forget about the polls. And I know we put it in our paper. We just started a state poll by the Star Ledger. That's now put in the Gloucester County Times. But I do it just because of people are amused by it and they like it. But it doesn't, it doesn't matter whether the team's 2 or 5. It's hard to tell, especially early in the season. We had Eastern in this Star Ledger poll at number 3. I told that to Coach Rob Chris before the game we televised recently. And he didn't even know that, and he kind of laughed. He says, "We're not number 3 in the state right now."
Eastern, despite their coaching deficiencies, of course, rolling along as our colleague Rob Christ, also doing really an outstanding job with Eastern this year, and all fun.
Oh yeah, we joke around with him because he works with us and stuff like that. But he's a really good coach, and he has that team now for the last 2 years, really playing with a lot of chemistry, a lot of emotion. They're smart players. They're a team to be reckoned with in Group 4.
Runner breaking as that one is popped towards the right side. Giving it a look now is Moffitt near the dugout, but it will fall out of play. Count remains even 2-2, and he's done a great job, especially when you consider what a difficult conference, surprise, surprise, the Olympic American is once again.
And how about Bill Alvaro over here for Washington Township, sitting at the end of the dugout. He's done an outstanding job for Washington Township, coming over from Williamstown, a good baseball guy who really gets involved with it, has his kids playing at a high level since he's come over here.
Pickoff throw not in time. There was a strange period here for the baseball program. They had John Bush, the great coach, for so many years, and then they went through a bit of a transition phase with a couple of coaches in a couple of years. But when Bill Alvaro got the job, you knew it was going to be his for a long time as that pitch misses low for a ball. You can almost get the sense that for Bill Alvaro, who's a Township grad, that this was his dream job, and obviously it's a perfect fit on both ends.
I know he did a terrific job at Williamstown, and then he comes over to here, and you knew that this is a guy that was going to be able to keep this program at a high level.
3-2 pitch misses low, ball 4. So back-to-back walks with 2 outs. Gives the Rams a chance to put some runs on the board early as Andrew Anuski will step to the plate, the third baseman. And one thing here to keep an eye on, Schleicher's thrown a lot of pitches here in the first inning.
Right. Remember what I was talking about earlier about getting those first 2 batters out in the confidence? Well, the confidence level has dropped a little. Now when you walk 2 batters in the middle of the lineup, you have Anuski up, you start getting a little concerned about yourself and how you're pitching and that you can't spot and locate your fastball. That's when usually you make a mistake.
Next pitch is grounded over to third base. Gobbling up is Schatzman. He'll step on the bag, and that will retire the side. A good pitch indeed by Schleicher, and the Rams are done here in the first. No runs, hits, or errors, and 2 left on. We move to the bottom of the first. Back in a moment. No score between Gloucester Catholic and Washington Township. Welcome back to Washington Township as we move to the bottom of the first. There's your line score. No score between the Minutemen and the Rams. Benkin and Shawn Leary here, and stepping in for the Minutemen, Mike Resinito, the second baseman, another table setter at the top of the lineup as he looks at one outside. You look at the fundamental soundness of both of these teams, and it starts at the top of the order.
You're right. I mean, they get things going, and that's why you see these teams able to score a lot of runs in the first inning. Usually you have first couple of batters in each lineup are guys that really produce, get on, and allow those big guys behind them at the 3, 4, 5 spot to drive them in.
1-1 pitch is chopped over to third base, and Andruski fields, throws over to first base in time for out number 1. You know, there's so much talk, Shawn, about people frustrated with the major leaguers because there's less fundamentals, not as much bunting, not as much working the pitchers in the count. And you come out and watch these two teams, and we mean this in a respectful way. It's almost like a time warp to the way you really should play the game.
You're right. And the reason why you see that is obviously we talked about Alvaro and Chris, but the Barth family and Dennis in particular, what he's done at the high school level is really teach the game and the fundamentals extremely well. I mean, look at some of those things, commercials that come on during the during the season, during this type of season. You always see them commercials about how to play the game right. Dennis is a guy that could probably produce one of those things because he teaches the game exactly the way it should be played, and that's why Gloucester Catholic sits among the top every single year.
2-0 pitch is lined into center field. That'll be our base hit. So Bill Rice picks up the first hit of the game, and it goes to Washington Township. He is a one-out base runner. And that'll bring on Dan Betteridge, the shortstop. And here is one of the best players in South Jersey. Last year hit .413, scored 28 runs. He is on his way to Rutgers, and the Scarlet Knights are going to get one heck of a player.
He's a hell of a basketball player, too. This guy's a terrific athlete. We saw him play the guard position for the Minutemen during a tournament, in the Christmas tournament. And he single-handedly took that game over.
First pitch is grounded up the middle, past the diving shortstop Blackburn for a base hit. So Betteridge swings at the first offering, and that puts runners at first and second for Washington Township. And here comes Ryan D'Imperio, gentleman we talked about in our open. And here's a guy who hit .462 last season. Looks like he's right on pace again this year.
You talk about an opposing kid. Look at him. He's a big boy. He's very strong, powerful, great upper body where he can drive the ball just by turning those hips and allowing that shoulder and upper body area to come through the ball.
Eliason on the mound for the Rams, and here's the first pitch on the way. Grounded down the third base side. The Gloucester Catholic defense, Eliason pitching to Nick Corrado. Anthony Mergliano at first, Manumba at second. Blackburn, we mentioned, at short. Andruski at third. Jim Shull in left field. Dan Mayo in center. And Eddie Damon in right. And the count now 0-1 to D'Imperio. And has a chance now with one out. And when these two teams play, you better get the runs while you can with their pitching. Great opportunity here for the Minutemen in the bottom of the first. Runners breaking as the pitch is inside for a ball. The throw not in time. A double steal for the Minutemen. Rice to third, Betteridge to second with one out.
Well, that time they had Umba come behind and give the little fake at second base for Gloucester Catholic. But Rice didn't budge at all. This is a guy who had a great jump right out of the gate and really didn't give a chance for Corrado to gun him down.
1-1 pitch, good breaking ball. Took something off that pitch. It's 1-2. Looked like a bit of a changeup there as D'Imperio was out in front of it, 1-2.
Yeah, one of the problems with that double steal is now you open it up for D'Imperio to be pitched around and set things up for Gorski, who was on deck. But you'll take that, a bases loaded situation with one out. But you keep throwing curves like that in there like Eliason just did, you can go after him a little bit, especially when you're ahead of the count now with 2 strikes on him.
Well, we saw that double steal, and I think maybe the Minutemen saw something in Eliason's delivery. Don't forget, Bill Alvaro was a pitcher, and when he first went to Williamstown before he became the head coach, he was the pitching coach there, so that is certainly his specialty, and you take that combination with the talent here at Washington Township, no surprise they've had a lot of pitching success. Swung on and nubbed up the middle. That'll get 1 run home. Here's the throw down to first base in time for out number 2. Coming into score is Bill Rice. Betteridge to third, and RBI for D'Imperio, and Washington Township has a 1-0 lead.
Talking about fighting off a pitch. That was a terrific pitch by Eliason coming in on the big fella, and he's able to just get a piece of it, shoot it out towards short where Blackburn's able to make the play. However, Minutemen plating the first run of the game, and I think that's pretty important to be able to get your pitcher comfortable. It's really who settles in here.
Bob Gorski flies one high down the right field side. Damon giving it a look right on the line. He will put it away for the third out, but Washington Township able to plate the first run of the game. They do so on 2 hits, no Catholic errors, and 1 left on. 1 complete here at Washington Township. It's the Minutemen 1, the Rams nothing here on Comcast Channel 5. Welcome back to Washington Township as we start the second inning. 1-0 Minutemen on top of the Rams, and Mike Eliason standing in for Gloucester Catholic. First pitch by Schleicher is over for a called strike, and we mentioned Schleicher throwing a lot of pitches early on in that first inning, so we'll see if his pitch count continues to rise in the next couple innings. Passing high for a ball. You got these two teams too, Sean, particularly Township. You get juiced up for a game like this, and the adrenaline can be flowing a little bit, and sometimes for pitchers you're overthrowing the ball.
Right, you really have to funnel that energy early on in the game because of your emotions. You don't want to start walking batters in this lineup because they're going to make you pay eventually.
2-1 now the count. Swung on and missed for a strike. It's 2-2.
And also knowing it's Gloucester Catholic and the fact of what they can do at the plate, the amount of runs that this team scores, you also maybe get caught in trying to nibble a little too much, trying to get too cute with your pitches.
Foul back, and there was a time really showing for a while, considering the fact that these two schools are fairly close to each other with some local connections. They didn't play each other for a long time, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that games were limited as far as schedules of their conference, but now that's become an every-year occurrence. Good breaking ball, struck him out. Ball was dropped by Moffitt. He'll throw down to first base for out number 1.
That was just a nasty pitch. That ball dropped off. Eliason could not hold his hands back. Goes after the pitch.
We'll bring Nick Corrado to the plate. The catcher standing in, the number 7 hitter in this Gloucester Catholic lineup. 1-0 Washington Township. We're in the top of the second inning. Low for a ball, and we alluded to earlier, Sean, that this could be the first of 2 they could meet in the Diamond Classic, which every year, South Jersey baseball fans, just it's a couple of weekends of just pure fun with the best teams going at it. Over for a strike.
Yeah, what makes that tournament fun, and I know, every team in South Jersey looks forward to the group playoffs. However, that diamond really means a lot, and we saw how much it meant to Pennsville last year.
Popped up into center field. Stanley giving it a look, drifting all the way back, and that one is gone. Solo home run for Nick Corrado and Gloucester Catholic on his first hit of the afternoon. Has tied the game at 1.
Where did that ball carry? And we're not, it's kind of a difficult sky to see the ball here. That ball didn't seem like it was going to go out off the bat, and it just carried. It did not stop until went over that 370-foot sign out in center.
Yeah, it didn't even sound like it was going to go out off the crack of the aluminum, if you will. Right. And it was a case where Stanley looked like he had a beat on it and then just kept backpedaling, and over the fence it went.
It almost sounded like he hit it a little fat. And you're right, it's the sound of the bat. You can really tell when it's more of a ping when somebody really gets a hold of the ball and drives it.
So Bill Donovan comes to the plate with 1 out now in a 1-1 game. First pitch missing low, 1-0.
Field here, it's 300 down the right field line and also the left field line, 355 in the alleys, 370 to center. Corrado put that to just about dead center.
2-0 now the count, as you wonder now how Schleicher, a veteran pitcher that he is, will react after giving up that home run. Easterville did make a terrible pitch on that last swing. That one nubbed over to the third base side and grabbed by the third baseman Schatzman for the second out.
Now batting for Gloucester Catholic, Jim Sewell.
Jim Sewell, the number 9 hitter, will step to the plate for the Rams. And how many years have we seen we get a Gloucester Catholic stat sheet in the middle of the year and their number 9 hitter's batting 400, 368, right. Dangerous from top to bottom.
I think it's every year, as a matter of fact.
Missing outside. You talk about the great work of the Bards. That certainly carries over into the summertime with Brooklawn as well.
Well, you know what happens, I think, is every pitcher is looking for a break in the lineup somewheres. And you normally tend to have that toward the end of the lineup. So you're thinking, all right, well, I can kind of ease off, back off here. I'm out toward the end of the lineup. And mentally and physically, you maybe don't bring it every single pitch. And that's what happens. This Gloucester Catholic team, a la Washington Township, has the depth at the bottom of the order that'll hurt you if you're not at the top of your game when you're giving them your different pitches.
2-1 now, the count to the batter, Jim Sewell. Swung on and missed. Boy, the first strike was pitch where Schleicher took something off it. He didn't take anything off that pitch.
No. Well, I guess he realizes he can't take off because that was as lively a fastball as we've seen so far from him today.
Missing low for a ball.
Just overthrew that one that time. That one he's trying to get a little bit of extra on there. Gets away from him.
Base is empty. 2 outs, a run in for Gloucester Catholic on the home run by Corrado. Ground ball down the third base side. That is a fair ball going towards the left field corner. The Imperial giving chase, taking the turn at first to Sewell, and he will roll into second base with a stand-up double. So the bottom of the order brigade getting the job done for Gloucester Catholic this inning.
Nice job by Sewell turning on that one. And that's that ping we're talking about. You got a nice little stroke right down that third baseline. Schatzman unable to get over there in time to be able to knock it down. And now you have a runner in scoring position with Mayo at the plate. Remember, this is a guy who can drive the ball.
It's one towards the hole, knocked down by the shortstop Betteridge. Long throw to first in time. Fine play by Betteridge. And the side is retired for Gloucester Catholic here in the top of the second inning. Rams do play to run, however. They get it on the home run by Nick Corrado. A 1-1 game through an inning and a half. And Shawn, as you mentioned, this Gloucester Catholic lineup, the number 7 hitter gets a home run. Number 9 hitter gets a double to set up a potential second run, although a nice job by Schleicher to get out of it.
And I think real important, especially with Eliason on the mound. He's a young kid. You don't want him to get too emotional for this game. And, you know, he comes down into the first, after the first inning. You don't want him to thinking, all right, now I got to pitch lights out to be able to keep my team in it. So I think that run is really important for Gloucester Catholic, for the guy who's on the mound. So we're evened up now. I can go back to my stuff and not have to think about how I'm going to try to keep my team in the game.
Well, Gloucester Catholic, we mentioned, suffering its first loss this past week, but rolling through some of their early conference play, beating Deptford 17-1, Highland 14-2, Cumberland 9-0. Had that thrilling game with Williamstown, the 11-10 slugfest, then the win over Kingsway 12-7, the Overbrook game 8-6. So you look at what they've been able to do, and certainly you look at a team that is going to score a lot of runs no matter what.
I think that Kingsway game and the Williamstown really telling about this team. A young team, doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Kingsway's up on them. They're able to come back late in the game. And that's typical Gloucester Catholic, a team who's not going to give up on you. You really got to put them away. And it says a lot, you know, when you have a young team, are they going to be able to respond like other teams have have done in the past? They certainly have passed an early test in the beginning of the season, suffering that first loss, but they didn't play real well on Saturday.
1-1 now, the count to Mike Schatzman, the third baseman for Washington Township.
You just hope Saturdays don't become a trend where you can, you know, I guess you're okay with going, you know, one game. So you don't want to start saying that, you know, every other game where you're starting to have problems on the base pads and making mental mistakes in the field.
Looked like Schatzman was guessing one pitch and Eliason threw him another there to make it 1-2. Breaking ball. Nice job by Schatzman to hold off because that had a nasty curve to it.
Yeah, it's almost like you wonder, did he get fooled on that one? Because that's one where it's hard to lay off. That ball was in the strike zone and then just dropped right out of it.
That one bounced up the middle. It will dribble into center field for a base hit. So Schatzman, a leadoff base runner for Washington Township here in the first. And that is the first time we've had the leadoff base runner reach in an inning.
What a great at-bat for Schatzman. He looked silly on the first couple of pitches, and you're right, he holds off on a terrific curveball. Stays patient, goes with the pitches, bounces it back through the middle for a leadoff hit it when he was down in the count.
Pat Moffitt, the catcher, left-handed hitter standing in for Washington Township. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Nice to have a strong defensive catcher like Pat Moffitt when the Imperio's in the outfield for you. Again, it's another indication of depth for this team. Pickoff throw back, and going back in standing is Schatzman. Look at Washington Township, what they've done this year. They've had some close games as well, some slugfest, and they've found a way to win each time. That one is grounded towards second. Could be two. To shorts at second, one. Back over to first. Double play as Umba throws to Blackburn. Now they're going to call it safe at first. Let's see.
Yeah, I think he was safe at first.
Looked like he was beaten at first base, but going to call it safe. So Schatzman is erased at second. Moffitt reaches on a fielder's choice. And now one out of the inning for Joe Favitella, the DH.
It looked like to me that Umba might have had a little bit of a problem there at second base, getting the ball out of his glove, and really didn't set that double play up in time. Moffitt with good speed, able to get down and bust it down the line.
Blackburn, the shortstop, covering, but not in time, and good hustle by Moffitt to get down to first. And now Favitella standing in with a count 1-0. Ken Stanley, the number 9 hitter, due up next for Washington Township. Favitella DHing this afternoon. Good pitch on the corner for a strike. It's 1-1.
What a great day. It's a nice warm day. Got a bunch of fans out. There's people lined up along the fence.
Good day for the pitchers too. It's that just right weather, not too cold, but not scorching hot, and that should help as far as stamina throughout the game, depending on how high the pitch counts go. But certainly this is ideal weather for the pitchers as well, as you see the large contingency of fans, and it has filled up quite nicely here in Washington Township, as you would expect for a game like this. Runner breaking, pitches low for a ball. The throw down to second base is in time for the out. Good throw that time by Corrado. Nice job by Blackburn to grab it and put the tag on for out number 2.
Nice job by Corrado, right, as he came up blazing with that arm of his, and he was able to gun him down. That's a terrific job by Corrado, just to negate that runner in scoring position. With Favitella, you don't want to give up a cheap run here at the end of the inning. With the bottom of the order, you want to try to keep your team in it. As Elias, and you want to definitely don't allow back-to-back runs in the first and second inning. Again, that confidence level you want to keep high for both these pitchers.
2-2 pitch is pop foul. That'll go out of play, and Favitella, designated hitter, if he gets on him, nothing else will turn the lineup over, because number 9 hitter Ken Stanley's on deck. And just like with Gloucester Catholic, not that that's a bad thing for Washington Township. Next pitch is fouled straight back.
It does work on a pitcher's nerves when he gives up a run at the bottom of the order, especially against a good team. You're in a big game, and I really think confidence has a lot to do with this game on the mound. When you come into a big game, you really want to have the confidence to throw any pitch at any time. And that starts early in the game and really builds itself.
Fastball missing up high, so a nice job by Favitella to come back and work it to a full count after being down 1-2. These hitters will make pitchers work. They'll spoil a lot of pitches all afternoon. Breaking ball, and that's it high into the air in left field. Drifting back as the left fielder, Sewell looking up, and it's off the fence. Rounding first, heading into second is Favitella. He goes in with a stand-up double. Didn't get it out, but came pretty darn close, and the Minutemen have a runner at second with 2 out.
That hit the top of the fence. Favitella really drove that high pitch Elias, making a mistake going upstairs. Favitella is able to turn on it. That makes it even more important that Corrado was able to gun down Pat Moffitt, the catcher, attempting to steal. That would have played it probably would have played it a run.
And now Ken Stanley comes to the plate for Washington Township. Chops the first pitch foul back to the screen, and we talked about that Minuteman monster, as they called it when it was first built.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not 100% sure. Originally they had padding or even maybe advertisements on the wall, and they had to take that down because it was a distraction to some of the hitters. And so they have the clear fence, but there is still that high fence in left field that makes it a little more difficult to pull it out. Back over to second base is Favatello, of course, not going anywhere here on second with 2 out. Breaking ball chopped over to shortstop. Blackburn gobbles it up. Long throw to first in time, and that will retire the side. For Washington Township, no runs, make it 2 hits. They leave 1 on through 2. Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic tied at 1. Matt Blackburn leading on for Gloucester Catholic here as we start the 3rd inning. No score between Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic. Ed Benkin and Shawn Leary here with you on this glorious April afternoon here in Washington Township. First pitch is hit high into the air in center field, and Stanley will grab it and make the catch for out number 1. In this 1-1 game, Catholic getting its run in the 2nd, Washington Township getting its run in the 1st.
Come on, baby.
And each run coming in very different fashion. You had the home run by Corrado for Catholic, and you had a run manufactured by Washington Township with the help of a double steal and a ground ball. Benny Gammon looks at the first pitch low for a ball. He walked his first time up.
Favatello really came just a couple of feet, or really inches, from giving Township a 2-1 lead in the bottom half of that 2nd inning. That ball in left field hit off the top of the fence. It looked, at least like it looked like it did from our angle. It's very difficult to see today.
2-0 now, the count to Damon. Missing high, 3-0, and you are in the heart of the Gloucester Catholic lineup here with the number 3 hitter up. Mergliano waiting on deck. Pitch over for a called strike. It is 3-1. Washington Township trying to go 6-0 on the season. You see Gloucester Catholic 6-1. Popped up down the left field side. This one falling fast. Drifting out is the shortstop, Betteridge, who makes a fine play for the 2nd out. And a nice job by Schleicher that time to come back after being down in the count.
Yeah, it seemed like he took a little bit off the pitch just to make sure he's able to get it at his location, take it to the outside part of the plate. Nice job by Betteridge. You can see he's a quick athlete, good burst of speed coming off that short stop position. Gets a terrific jump off the ball. Betteridge is just probably one of the best athletes in the county.
Anthony Mergliano looks at one outside for a ball. He walked his first time up. 1-1 the score between Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic. We're in the top of the 3rd.
In fact, we had the Clay Awards coming up at the end of June. And Betteridge and D'Imperio will be 2 guys who are certainly looked at as possible Player of the Year candidates.
High for a ball, and of course, D'Imperio with a great year on the football field as well, and just not the same being down here at Washington Township with the, of course, saddened by the South Jersey football world with the loss of Tom Brown earlier this year. Ground ball down the 3rd base side. That'll go foul. It was a very difficult year, of course, for the football team. We mean this in a very complimentary way. Tom Brown certainly cast a big shadow in the South Jersey football world, but there is no question he was in charge here at Washington Township, and a real credit to the players for having to play through the season, having to play through the Thanksgiving game, knowing their coach was seriously ill.
And I think Mark Wechter is going to come in and do a terrific job for them. Kind of his dream job. He talked about Alvaro having a dream job. Wechter as well. Coming from Gateway, learned a lot about the system here at Washington Township. Was a favorite of Tom Brown. He really felt Wechter was.
You could make a comparison to basketball, and it's almost impossible to replace a John Chaney, but when a Fran Dunphy walks in, you feel pretty good. Ground ball foul, and that's who Township has, a guy who, again, was so involved with the program, and you don't look at the replacement of a legend like Tom Brown and say, well, it should be a seamless transition with somebody, but with a guy like Coach Wechter, it certainly seems like it will be here.
He's got a tall order. He's going to need to come in and produce a winning product.
lined into center, towards center field rather, knocked down by Betteridge. He'll make the throw over to first base. And a 1-2-3 inning for Schleicher, the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. And that'll retire the side. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. We move to the bottom of the third. It's been a good one, 1-1 between Washington Township and Gloucester Catholic.
And this so far, this game is kind of what we thought it would be. Teams trying to scratch across a couple of runs. Both pitchers able to get things done. There you see the top of the football stadium.
That's, of course, where Tom Brown used to coach atop that very press box. And, of course, many fans in our area, Paulsboro fans, remember the great years he had with the Red Raiders. Just one of the great coaches of all time in South Jersey. It's so hard when you think of some of the great coaches to rank one number one, one number two, but certainly if you think amongst the best ever, Tom Brown, you can make an argument, is right at the top. And just as impressive as his wins and his conference championships and his group championships, the fact that he was able to get a lot of his kids the chance to play on the college level. Even if they weren't Division I stud college athletes, he found homes for them at Division II, Division III. He worked tirelessly to really give his kids a chance to play at the next level. And of course, that meant getting a good education somewhere at the next level as well.
Well, you're right. And I'm not too sure if that's not the number one job of a high school coach, is to be able to get their kids into a college level to further their career, further the education of their players. And a guy who really gets that's Al Oreo over at Deptford. He does an outstanding job since he's taken over at Deptford of being able to get his kids into the higher level, of not only being able to play, but also getting a higher education.
Mike Rissanito looks at the first pitch for a strike, takes the next one for a ball. He grounded out his first time up. 1-1 the score, bottom of the third.
When I hear, Coach Sturley doesn't try to call for my kid, didn't really try to call for my kid to get him, I had to do that. I don't care what the wins were for the team. I don't think he did his job.
Breaking ball fouled in and out of the glove of the catcher, Corrado. We were talking about the rankings before, and Township in one poll is 1, the other is 5, and talked to Coach Barth. He said, "Oh, rankings don't mean anything this time of year." And he's right. It's fun to look, but it's still so early in the season. On the inside corner for a called third strike. And that is out number 1 here in the third.
The only time I would pay attention to rankings is at the end of the season, because that's really, if you had an outstanding team, you win a championship, you might have done really well on the diamond, had a real nice record. That's where I'd want to see where I fell, but with the so-called experts that we have in the media.
Popped up high towards the right side. Mergliano, the first baseman, takes a look, and now drifting back to second baseman Umba, who barely grabs it for out number 2. Mergliano started to drift to his right, then Umba called him off. They kept drifting and drifting. We saw the ball carry out before on that home run, and either the wind or just the way the ball was going took effect there for out number 2.
Yeah, wind's blowing out a little bit. You can't really feel it down here, but you see the flags blowing a little on top of the scoreboard. And it is blowing out straight away towards center field. But I'm glad I'm not the only one that really can't see that well. Looks like they're having trouble out in the field as well. Otherwise, I was thinking, man, I should probably get my eyes checked, because I haven't seen a ball hit into the air once so far today.
Dan Betteridge looks at one for a strike. He is singled, stolen a base his first time up. That one hit high into the air towards left field, and that will go towards the pole foul, out of play. Betteridge getting some kind of off-speed pitch there, jumping on that one, but pulling a foul. Eliza now ahead in the count, 0-2. Ground ball over towards shortstop. Blackburn having trouble with it, picks it up and won't make the play to first base. And Betteridge is safe at first on what will be scored an error.
Ryan D'Imperio.
Not an easy play, but Blackburn will say he should have had it.
No, I think he probably should have had it, no doubt about it. Backhand, I know, would have been a tough play. Betteridge with excellent speed going down. I joked about, so-called experts in the media.
You being one of them, of course.
Yeah, right. But there's no doubt that, we see a lot of different games, especially reporters that go out and see the different teams. And they're able to make a pretty fair assessment of who's number 1.
Runner breaking as that one is popped up towards the left side. And Andruski looks, squeezes, and that will retire the side. So Gloucester Catholic Washington Township done in the third inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. 3 innings complete. It's been a good one, as we said. Gloucester Catholic and Washington Township tied at 1, and Shawn, finally a couple of quick innings for the pitchers, and it's a real credit to Eliason and Schleicher. We'll talk more about that when we come back. You're watching high school baseball on Comcast Channel 5. We move to the top of the 4th inning here at Washington Township. There's your score. Township and Gloucester Catholic tied at 1 apiece as Andrew Andruski stands in and rips one foul down the third base side. Right towards our palatial Comcast truck with the fine crew doing its usual outstanding job, pushing all the right buttons for us today. Andruski hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Grounded right towards the on-deck circle. Boy, that one caught one of the Rams. Eliason waiting on deck as he takes a look at his right hand. Now, you laugh about that a little bit, but when it's your pitcher checking out his hand, your heart skips a beat for a second.
Yeah, Bart's looking over real hard at him to make sure that he didn't take him. That ball hit by Nutsky. You normally don't see that from a right-hander where that ball came back and hit the on-deck batter.
Count now 1-2 to Andrew Andruski, the third baseman for the Rams. Missing high for a ball, it's 2-2. So after getting ahead 0-2, Schleicher tries to fool him with a breaking ball, then comes up high.
Moffitt tried to frame that pitch.
Just missing a bit low. Good job by Andruski to work the count full. It's 3-2. Rams getting their run in the second inning. Minutemen getting their run in the first. Popped up high into the air towards the left side, drifting towards the foul line, giving a look at it as Schatzman, and again, it will drift out of play. So, ball looked like it was going to stay in foul ground before going over the fence, but it kept carrying and went out. We'll count now to Andruski with Eliason waiting on deck. We were saying how that ball just bounced up and got him in the hand, but he is fine as he awaits his turn on deck. You see him over there. Does not appear to be in any bad shape after that ball bounced up. And now Andruski able to work the leadoff walk here in the fourth. Good job down 0-2 to come back and get on base.
Mike Eliason.
Mike Eliason will stand up after Andruski able to reach first base. Eliason today is struck out. Only at bat as the throw goes back over to first base. And hear a lot of chatter in the Gloucester Catholic dugout. No surprise, you can hear that in every game they play. That's part of the rule. If you're going to play for the Rams, you got to be into the game start to finish, even from the dugout. Chases the high pitch and misses 0-1. See that?
I think there's a fine line. Sometimes you do it too much, it becomes like a joke where, you know, the kids aren't really into what they're doing. But if you're able to just keep it alive and keep it almost like seems like you're into the game. You don't want your dugout a little too quiet where guys can kind of start thinking about, you know, like, I hope mom's making shrimp tonight, or I hope it's not that meatloaf she always makes. You know, you want to really thinking about the game and what they're doing.
High for a ball, and Cherry Hill East, I think it gets the award. Their players seem to have it down to an art form. Going to watch the Cougars play, and you'll hear plenty of chatter. Team will have on Comcast later in the year, and that one is swung on and missed. So Eliason, we saw him after he chased the first pitch kind of give that nod. You had a good look at it, knowing he went upstairs, chases again. And now Schleicher faces a 1-2 count against Eliason.
So far, that's Stan Ritter, our executive producer, has put together a terrific schedule this year.
He picked a good one today, no question about that. Andruski does not go as the pitch is high, 2-2.
Except he let that Rob Chris talk him into that Kingsway game, though, Eastern. Looking at the beginning of the year, we thought that was going to be a little bit better game than it was. But And you would have thought that Kingsway would have done better against Eastern after what they did against Gloucester Catholic and was able to play with them. But talking about the confidence level, you don't start the game with it. Sometimes you could lose that. Same thing with the season. If you don't start your season with confidence, that can manifest itself into a very bad thing. And right now for Kingsway, that's a bad thing. They just are not able to get on track.
Runner breaking on the 3-2 pitch, and that's hit high into the air in left center field, drifting towards the cap, drifting back, and it will drop in for extra bases. Rounding third and heading for the plate is Zanuski. Here comes the throw. He dives in safely with a head-first slide, holding at second base as Eliason, and Gloucester Catholic has taken a 2-1 lead.
Well, it looked like Zanuski wasn't too sure that he touched that plate. And then came back and tagged it again.
Yeah, he made sure of it, but nice job by Eliason. And how about Zanuski coming all the way from first on a ball that didn't go to the wall, just dropped in, and actually a good throw by D'Imperio didn't make a difference.
Well, that starts with Dennis Barth. He's the one that made the call. He started the runner, got the wheels moving. And Zanuski didn't flinch going around from second to third. Then you get a chance to look at your coach, Barth, giving him the signal to go home. Good decision by Barth, able to score the run from first, get him in motion. And of course, Eliason doing the job at the plate, able to make contact on the fastball and drive it into the gap.
Speaking of doing the job at the plate, Nick Corrado up. He homered in his first appearance, and Mike Gartland has come out to pinch run for Eliason. Gloucester Catholic now with its first lead of the afternoon. And there is some action behind the Washington Township dugout where they have the relief pitchers warm up. Squaring to bunt and bunted foul down the left field side, out of play.
I think this is a good move by Barth, even though Corrado did jack one in the second inning. There you see the play at the plate. Zanuski's coming in, slides underneath the tag. I think his whole body actually touched the plate at that time. And
boy, really, even though the throw was a little high, D'Imperio did his part, got the throw, and just, as you mentioned, with the runner Zanuski taking off, he was able to get in safely. Bouncing low for a ball. Good block that time by the catcher Moffitt. So the count now even at 1-1 to Nick Corrado. Top of the fourth inning. Gloucester Catholic has taken the lead 2-1. A marquee matchup in South Jersey, as we alluded to earlier. Always fun to see these two teams go
Bob
out.
Gorski, first base, in on the grass, expecting a bunt, or at least ready for it. Third baseman Schatzman playing close to the bat.
Time called as there's a bit of a problem with the sound system here. Sometimes a coincidence when that happens when the visitors are batting.
There you see he's standing really crowding the plate as Corrado. He's standing way above home plate. Sometimes, and especially a catcher, will be able to look and see how a batter's standing, whether he thinks that they're going to try and lay the bunt down or not.
Well, he's able to work the count now at 3-1, and Schleicher really laboring out there a little bit now. That one is hit down the left field side. Fair ball going all the way into the corner. Here comes Gartland rounding third. He will head to the plate and score. Holding at second base with an RBI double is Corrado. A homer and a double. 2 RBIs for Corrado today. 3-1 Gloucester Catholic.
Well, the hair must be working for him. He's got like a half mohawk going. And Corrado so far is doing a good job. You see him coming off now. I don't know if he'll be able to get a shot of the head.
Here comes Bill Alvaro, and this might be it for Schleicher, as Lenny Oliveri was warming up in the Washington Township bullpen. Let's see if he gets the ball or not. Looks like he is. So we'll take a break. Pitching change in Washington Township. We're in the fourth inning. It's Gloucester Catholic 3, Washington Township 1. Back with more on Comcast Channel 5 right after this. Welcome back to Washington Township. Benkin and Shawn Leary here, walking a pair of doubles to put Gloucester Catholic up 3-1 here in the fourth inning. Is squaring to bunt as Bill Donovan takes one for a strike. New pitcher for Washington Township, Lenny Oliveri. So Schleicher goes 3+ innings. He's one of the top pitchers for Township, but the Rams able to get to him. Made him throw a lot of pitches early, and I think that might have been a difference. Next pitch over for a strike. So Donovan squaring the bunt twice, takes 2 pitches for strikes. A runner on second here with nobody out. If nothing else, of course, if you're Donovan, if you got to swing away here, you want to get it to the right side, move the runner. So 1 outside, 1 and 2. So Oliveri trying to get the Minutemen out of this inning with 2 runs across for Gloucester Catholic. Breaking ball nubbed into left field for a base hit. Having to hold for a moment was Corrado, and he has to stay at second base. That was nubbed. Corrado did the smart thing, and he holds at second.
Actually, that's a courtesy runner for Corrado out there for Gloucester Catholic. But he had the hold there, and Schatzman wasn't able to get to it. But then, you know what, if Schatzman's not able to get to it, you got to really be paying attention. I think he could have scooted over to third and made it over there in time. Betteridge's not, you know, playing through the true shortstop position, especially trying to hold the base runner on.
There's DJ Robinson out there at second. He did everything he was supposed to do as Jim Scholl will step up. Runners at first and second now. Still nobody out. Squares the bunt, takes one high. Scholl, the number 9 hitter, although, again, a pretty good hitter in his own right. Probably wants to move the runners here, so he'll be squaring unless there's 2 strikes. Gloucester Catholic still with a situation right now where with nobody out in the inning, they can potentially have a big one. Pickoff throw back to second, and the Rams and the Minutemen, for that matter, have had those big innings this year where it's just as demoralizing for the other team as it is for what they put up on the scoreboard.
One of those plays Washington Township will use, Alvaro and his staff coming up with that pickoff play. You're right, little intricacies of the game.
Joel squared the bunt, then pulled it back to swing and hit it foul. Sometimes when you see a batter square that soon, you start to think, well, maybe something might be up here.
Right. That's pretty amazing. He was able to get a piece of that, get his bat back. And
let's see what he does here. Squaring now with a count 1-1. Gets the bunt down beautifully. Hustling as Oliveri has to make a quick throw to first. A high throw. And no call yet. Safe at first base as he was pulled off the bag. Would have been close to beating it out anyway. It would not matter as Sewell with a gorgeous bunt loads the bases for Gloucester Catholic. And now, again, the official score, if you scored an error, it's a tough error because that's a play where Schatzman really has to hustle to get down to first, so they're going to score the base hit. So a double, a single, and another single and a bunt loads the bases for Mayo.
I don't know what they're going to score, but we'll score the hit because that bunt was perfect.
That's almost too good a bunt to not reward it with the hit, the way Sewell put that down. So
you want to get that bat, when you're bunting the ball, you want to get that bat head out in front of your hands, and that was a perfect textbook bump by Scholes. He gets it out, lets the ball hit the bat. Good bunters will let the ball hit the bat. You don't want to take a stab at it. You really want to let that ball come in, hit the bat, and deaden it down in front of the plate.
1-1 the count. Swung on and missed, and Oliveri, he's pitched well since he's come in. He gave up a jam job single and a perfect bunt. He's been ahead of the hitters. He's pitched well. He's had some tough luck. Missing outside, it's 2-2. The plate umpire today has called a very good game behind home plate. Missing low and inside, it's a full count. So now Oliveri has to come after him with the bases loaded, nobody out, 2 runs across already for Gloucester Catholic.
Infield playing in. This is a huge play in this game early.
Missing outside, ball 4. Terrific at bat by Mayo. He's rewarded with an RBI. Coming in to score is Robinson, and it is now with the extra run across 4-1 Gloucester Catholic, still nobody out. It's O'Hara, actually, who crosses the plate. Thought it was Robinson out there, but it's O'Hara, the courtesy runner. And the base is still loaded, and here comes Matt Blackburn, who's popped out twice today. Well, you look at what's happened this inning: a walk, a double, a single, and another walk. Pitch is ripped into left field. Giving chase is the left fielder, D'Imperio. He'll make the catch. And coming in to score on the play, or actually pick it up off the hop, coming in to score on the play is Blackburn. So an RBI single. Rams keep it rolling. It is 5-1. And now it's one base at a time for the Rams. They played another one. Base is still loaded. Nobody out. And Damon, the 8th hitter of the plate this inning for Gloucester Catholic, stepping in. He's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Infield still in for Washington Township. They want to try to cut off any more runs. Down already 5-1 here in the 4th inning. Lyson's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable on the mound. He'll feel a lot more comfortable when he gets out there with a 4-run lead at least.
And again, he will not complain, but the only, I don't want to say downside, especially on a day like this, he's been sitting around, hasn't thrown the ball for a while with this long inning. Sing low, and now Oliveri working behind in the count, and a chance for the Rams to plate another with the count 3-0. And I know Hammond's a terrific hitter, but pretty sure he's got the red light here. Walked him on 4 pitches. 6-1 Gloucester Catholic. Second runner to cross the plate via bases loaded walk this inning. Well, the Rams have batted around and still nobody out here in the 4th. As Mergliano stands in, he walked and grounded out his first 2 times at the plate. Pops that one up into right field. Giving a look is Bill Rice, the right fielder. He will put it away for the first out of the inning, heading for home plate, and coming in to score on the play is Mayo. And now the ball gets away and the runners will move up. Heading into third already was Blackburn, but now Damon takes second. 7-1 Gloucester Catholic. So Mergliano gets another run home, and again, that is the first out of the inning, but the Rams still batting here in the 4th as Anuski, who started it all with a walk and a run scored, stands in. He's now 0 for 1. Oh, 1-0.
Just missing right now is these Washington Township pitchers. I mean, they're not extremely wild. They're just missing right on the inside, right on the outside. Just a little low.
That one didn't miss down the line. It's a fair ball. And now they're going to say foul. Well, I looked at the ball rolling down the line. I saw Coach Barth waving the runners in, and he froze, we froze, and turned out it was foul. But Anuski now bearing down with the count 1-1, getting to turn on a pitch. And it is 7-1, but this is still a huge at-bat here for Anuski and for the Rams. You still have 2 runners in scoring position with less than 2 out, a chance to really break this game open. Bounces away, takes a bad hop off Moffitt. Here come the runners. Crossing the plate will be Blackburn. Damon into third. Another run for Gloucester Catholic. It's 8-1. Well, there was the errant throw before that got past Moffitt that allowed the runners to move up, and there it cost Washington Township another run.
Well, it may be sunny and 70-something to us, but it's pouring rain right now for Washington Township. And they just haven't been able to do anything right this inning.
2-2 now the count. Struck him out with a tough pitch that just broke out of the strike zone. Anuski is now the second out of the inning, so that's a huge strikeout for Oliveri with the runner at third, and now 2 out. Well, here is Mike Eliason. He doubled in this inning. He's also struck out today, has a run scored. Looks at the first pitch low.
Stopped by Moffitt, trapping that ball before it gets behind him.
Over for a strike. 7 runs in this inning on just 5 hits.
Eliason wanted that pitch back. That ball was right over the middle of the plate. A fastball that he would have been able to handle.
That one missing low.
Great stop.
Moffitt just saved a run right there. There have been 3 walks in this inning as well, and especially against a team like Gloucester Catholic, no surprise. All of them have crossed the plate except one who's at third. So now 1-1 the count to Mike Eliason. Flared into shallow right field, and it drops in for a base hit. Another run scores in the form of Damon. An RBI single with 2 out for Eliason. Gloucester Catholic now up 9-1. 8 runs on 6 hits in this inning for the Rams. Here is Corrado. He has doubled and homered today, scored a pair of runs. His double came in this inning.
The look at the different dugouts really says it all. Washington Township sitting there kind of wondering what's going on. And everyone is standing up inside that Gloucester Catholic dugout, except for the one kid you see behind there sitting down.
Which is would have been out of the strike zone, but Corrado offered at it. It is 0-1. And this Gloucester Catholic lineup in this inning, 8 of the 9 batters in the Rams lineup have scored. The only one who didn't is Mergliano. He got a run home on an RBI fly out to right. Nubbed into shallow center field. This could be trouble. Is it going to drop in? No. Is coming in hard is Stanley. And that will retire the side. But 8 runs on 6 hits for Gloucester Catholic. There was an error and 1 more left on. We are going to the bottom of the 4th now. Gloucester Catholic 9, Washington Township 1. Back with more right after this. Welcome back to Washington Township, and Bob Gorski grounds the first pitch over to short. The throw to first in time for out number 1. Coming off an inning in which the Rams sent 12 hitters to the plate, plated 8 runs. They now have a 9-1 lead as we are in the bottom of the 4th.
And it just seemed to keep carrying as Washington Township made a couple of mistakes in the field. They weren't able to get the pitches over, walked a number of batters, and that's what I mean when you, again, that confidence level, if you're not able to get the pitches early. And it seemed like Schleicher was going to start off well. In the beginning of the game, he gets the first 2 hitters out, then walks the next 2, and it really set the tone for the entire day for the Minutemen. Now they...
Schatzman rips one high into the air in right center field. That one falling towards the gap, and it will drop in. And Schatzman now will pull up as it bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. So Schatzman able to pick up a hit for the Minutemen. I'm guessing now, Sean, if you're Bill Alvaro, I know it sounds a little corny, but you probably tell your players, hey, you don't look at the scoreboard right now. Go out and start playing fundamental baseball, and whatever happens, happens.
Right, well, you're going to need a couple of big innings. And it's not going to, you're not going to have to sit there and think, oh, maybe we can get one of the big innings back. You don't have too many 8-run innings. I'm sure you look at these 2 teams, and I doubt if Washington Township will give up another 8-run inning this year. Their teammates score 8 runs on them throughout the season, but an 8-run inning is not going to come around too often against these 2 teams.
Time is called as Moffitt stands back in with a count 0-1. 9-1 Gloucester Catholic. 9 unanswered runs. Washington Township had a 1-0 lead after the first inning. Now foul back towards the backstop. Now the count 0-2.
And one of the things is you know, it's when you're down 9-1, it's like you want to try to get it back all yourself, and you can't do that. You have to be willing to say, listen, I'll take a walk here, maybe try to get something going and get a big inning started. And it's hard to do that because you really want to drive the ball, take out a little bit of frustration. But it's real important to try to get back into these games. You have to be patient at the plate. It's only bottom of the 4th inning. They have plenty of time to try and catch up. It's going to take a little bit of patience, a little bit of luck by Gloucester Catholic, making mistakes in the field, and some timely hitting.
Moffitt standing back in now with a count 1-2. Pops that one up, heading out of play over the Gloucester Catholic dugout. So the count remains 1-2 to Pat Moffitt. as you mentioned, that's not the kind of inning we're going to see often from Washington Township this year, but Gloucester Catholic causing a lot of that, not just with their hits and their ability to work walks, but what they did on the base paths as well. Breaking ball, a beauty on the outside corner. Moffitt knew it. Called third strike, and that's especially a catcher who gets called out. He didn't bother to argue, turned right to the dugout. He knew that was a perfect pitch that time by Elias.
Yeah, that started off the plate and broke right in to that outside corner, and Elias with a terrific pitch. And again, talked about this before. This is a guy who can now settle in, relax a little bit, kind of have some fun out there. He just doesn't want to get behind too many hitters and make mistakes, but his curveball right now is working very nicely.
Joe Favatello just found that out too on that first pitch for a strike. He's certainly seems to be working more effectively with the curve now than he did at the beginning of the game.
Wow.
Speaking of which, there it is again. And you get a great look at it there from our view as you see the way that pitch just drops in. Eliason really settling down here nicely. Now the old baseball rule, do you throw it a third time or do you change it up?
I throw it now, especially you're ahead of him. I throw it, but I'd let it break down out of the strike zone. In fact, Corrado's calling for that, a low pitch, whether it's a fastball or a curve.
There it was, but it missed inside, and the count now 1-2. Runner on second base for the Minutemen, 2 out here in the 4th.
Corrado wanted that down toward the dirt, and he almost hung it up there for Favatello to be able to turn on it.
Pickoff throw back to second, but standing in is Schatzman. Minutemen coming into this game unbeaten. Gloucester Catholic suffering its first loss on Saturday. This is a team that does not lose 2 in a row very often. Struck him out, and that will retire the side. 2 strikeouts for Elias to end the inning. Minutemen unable to score. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. Through 4, it's Gloucester Catholic 9, Washington Township 1. Back with more on Comcast Channel 5 right after this. Back here at Washington Township at Benkin and Shawn Leary as we start the 5th. Gloucester Catholic up 9-1, and Bill Donovan stands in. He is popped out. He has also singled and scored a run. Every Gloucester Catholic Ram has reached base today at least once, with 8 of those runners who reached base scoring in the 4th inning. Donovan looks at one low and away. We were talking before too, Bill Alvaro, the coach of the Minutemen, his father coaching at Overbrook, Bill Alvaro Sr., when Bill Jr. would coach at Washington Township, they'd play at Williamstown, they'd play each other at the end of the year, as that one goes into center field for a base hit. So it would be a family affair to say the least. Bill Alvaro Jr.'s mom would have the half shirt, half Overbrook, half Williamstown. Family would get together, usually be Memorial Day Saturday, and it'd be a pretty fun event having the father and son coach against each other. So Donovan aboard here with nobody out, and Jim Scholl, the left fielder, will stand in. Well, we mentioned Gloucester Catholic gets production out of everyone in its lineup. Number 9 hitter today, 2 for 2 with a pair of runs scored. Looks at that pitch for a strike. Doubled in the 2nd, make it 1 run scored. Singled in that 4th inning in which 8 Rams crossed the plate.
If I'm not mistaken, both balls he's pulled down toward Schatzman. The one that went down the line, and also the other one, a little flare right over top of his head.
Nub slowly towards the right side. This will be a tough play. Fielding it at second and making the play to first is Resinito as he gets it to Gorski for the first out of the inning, with Donovan now moving into scoring position with 1 out. So Scholl even getting out there, able to move the runner. Not exactly the way I think he planned, but another runner in scoring position.
For the top of the order, which has been kind of quiet other than the last inning. They were 1 for 5 in the first 6 at-bats with the 1, 2, 3 hitters.
Mayo looks at 1 for a strike. 1 for 5, but throwing a couple of walks and 3 runs scored. Yep. As you mentioned, it's been the middle and towards the bottom of the order that's really done the most damage today for the Rams.
Throughout the day, but that last inning, everyone was doing it.
That one hit high into the air, drifting back as the left fielder, and making the play is D'Imperio as he throws it in for out number 2, and he was very close to running out of room in left field.
Mayo puts a little mustard on that one as he drove it into left field. And I can say this little guy's got some pop, even though he's he's not the most imposing guy. He's got a strong, compact swing.
Showing on the condiment kick now.
Yeah, why not? Throw it out there.
As Blackburn now will step back in for the Rams, 1 for 3 with a single on the run scored. Hits that one down the third base side, and that'll be fair going into the corner. Coming around third and scoring is Donovan, and rolling into second with a double is Matt Blackburn. Another double for Gloucester Catholic. They now lead it 10-1.
Gloucester Catholic winning command.
And they have had their share of extra base hits today. 4 doubles for the Rams, and of course the home run by Corrado.
Keep it on that condiment thing. Doesn't look like Gloucester Catholic wants them to catch up.
Shawn probably likely would have been better off quitting while he was ahead as the ground ball goes to first base. And that'll retire the side, but the Rams tack on another run. They do so on 2 hits. Leave 1 runner on. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 10-1, Gloucester Catholic on top, and the Rams certainly putting on a fine display this afternoon.
Yeah, they have been. They've been able to do everything they wanted to at the plate and more. Gotten a lot of contact. And you had said something while we were on break that it's not fun to play Gloucester Catholic right after they lose because you know they're going to be pretty focused. I'm sure Dennis gave them a nice, friendly talking to. They're making a few mistakes in the field, especially on the base pads as well.
See some of the crowd on hand. And this is a team that does not lose Gloucester Catholic twice in a row too many times. And getting back to Washington Township, going into today, they had won over Timber Creek 14-4, won over Camden Catholic 12-7. And then we mentioned how this team can win a lot of different ways. They beat a good Williamstown squad 1-0. And then a 4-3 win over their rivals from Cherry Hill East. That's always a tough game when they play. And then 6-4 over Morristown. And now Stanley will come to the plate for the Minutemen. And Stanley today has only been up once. He's grounded out.
It's a nice facility.
Gloucester Catholic.
Also, I mean, nice campus. Everything's real nice here at Washington Township.
And they do it right here, no question about that. This is a school, of course, it's by population, the largest school in the state of New Jersey. And can make it tough when you have so many good players in so many different sports. They'd play in some of the other schools, but they run out of room here as that one is hit to short.
That was a rock.
Blackburn able to knock it down, as you said, a rocket, but Blackburn able to handle it and get it to first for out number 1.
Nice play by Blackburn to stay with that one. That ball was a shot right at him. He was able to stay down on it, make the play. Of course, they come out quicker to you. You have a little bit more time to compose yourself and throw over.
Back to the top of the order, Mike Rossonito, who this afternoon is grounded out and struck out. Only 3 hits given up by Eliason so far this afternoon as the first pitch misses for a ball. That one hit towards short. Bad hop for Blackburn, but he's able to get it and field it for the second out. I want to make a correction, 5 hits, but 4 of those 5 hits coming in the first 2 innings by Township. So Eliason has really settled down nicely.
This team is sharp right now, and they were doing everything right. That time Blackburn, even though he gets a bad hop, is able to scoop it, toss it over to first. And Eliason, talking about settling in, being able to pitch with the lead, how much more comfortable does he look out there the last couple innings?
There's Bill Rice now for Washington Township. Swings at the first pitch and hits Eliason. Eliason is down as the ball bounces into center field. A frightening moment here as Eliason is still on the ground, and everybody on both sides quickly jumping up showing their concern, including the hitter, Bill Rice. Boy, I'm not sure where that caught him. We'll get another look at it. But
oh, God, I hope he's all right. That was a horrible, horrible shot right back at him. I just hope it didn't get him in the face or the head area. Hopefully it just got him underneath the rib or something like that.
And he has gotten up quickly, so that is a good sign. He's got the ice on the head, so that tells you where he was hit. That was hit so fast, so quickly, and even, as you mentioned, and no surprise, good sportsmanship with these 2 teams. Bill Rice, as soon as he got the first call timeout, ran out to see if he was okay. There's great respect for these players, and of course for some of the Catholic players, a couple of them directly living in Washington Township, but
These guys, they play the game hard, they play the game the right way, and it's just something you hate to see, and the concern on both sides evident right away.
Well, you can just hope that hit off his arm and then hit his head, maybe a little ricochet that hit the noggin. They're joking around out there a little bit, so apparently he's all right. That was one of the scariest shots I've ever seen. That was tattooed right back to him.
Both dugouts, both sides giving him an ovation, and yeah, it's good to see him smiling. And I think when a player gets hit like that, even if it's what fortunately appears to be not as serious as it looked, I think there's a shock factor. You realize you've just been hit with a line drive on the head. You need a few moments to just compose yourself. But boy, it is, considering what we just saw, it is just fantastic to see that Eliason is back up and was smiling, and now he's taking his warm-up tosses. And you know he wants to stay in this game.
I'm surprised he is. I'm really surprised he is, because that looked real bad. I guess it looked worse than what it was.
It is actually pretty surprising and fortunate that this is true, that considering the kind of hitters you have in this game and where the pitcher stands, that we don't see that more often really on every level.
Especially off these aluminum bats. Oh, we'll get out there just that much quicker. Man, that was a shot right back at him. I'm glad to see he was all right, because that was pretty scary.
Oh.
he got whacked. I mean, I'm glad I'm chuckling at it, because that's one of the hardest hits I've ever seen come back to a pitcher. One of the scariest moments I've ever had in announcing a game. I thought it was going to be a real bad scene. I thought he got hit right in the face with the line drive, and he might have. I would assume that it must have ricocheted off his arm a little bit and carried him down.
Well, Dan Betteridge now standing in with the count 1-0. He's singled and lived on an error, been on base both times. Chops slowly towards Eliason, makes a fine play, guns one over to first for out number 3. The tag, just to be sure. Well, he looked okay on that play as he makes the play off the mound to retire the side. For the Minutemen, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. Good to see Matt Eliason is okay. 10-1 Catholic here on Comcast Cable Channel 5. Move to the 6th inning now. Gloucester Catholic leading Washington Township 10-1 as Anthony Mergliano steps to the plate. And as we mentioned, Mike Eliason is fine. Certainly looked like it on the last out in the 5th inning as the first pitch is low for a ball. And again, he's joking about it. And it is fortunate what we just saw with that line drive off the head that he is okay. That one hit high in the air down the left field side. That'll go way foul. Gives it a pretty good ride, as you see. You also get a look at the scoreboard here at Washington Township.
Interesting that the Patino's name is at the bottom of that. Patino's Family Market.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Another leadoff base runner for Gloucester Catholic. As Mergliano able to reach first base. And again, not to jump ahead here, not to make our Washington Township viewers feel bad, but if Catholic does score a run here, take a 10-run lead, that means they can end the game if they hold the Minutemen off the scoreboard at the bottom of the inning.
The way this game has gone, I'm sure the Washington Township parents and family wouldn't mind seeing that. It's not been a pretty sight for Washington Township whatsoever in this game. They have not done much at the plate. Eliason has been terrific on the mound. And Gloucester Catholic put together that huge eight-run 4th inning. It really blew this game open.
Andrew Anuski with the count now 1-0 standing in. Anuski's done his part. Reached to the field of shorts, walked, scored a run, and struck out. Ground ball, that'll go foul. And Anuski in that monster 4th inning was able to work the walk, and he came home on the double by Mike Eliason that he was moving on the play and was able to come all the way around from first base.
Just a note, Robinson is warming up on the in the batter's box. Would take the place of Eliason.
Well, Eliason getting some congrats from some of his teammates, maybe done for the day. And
yeah, I think it's the right move. I wouldn't send him back out there today.
Exactly.
You have a comfortable lead.
Yeah, he looked fine, and he certainly looked fine off that ground ball, which he fielded to end the inning, but as you mentioned, for precautionary reasons as well, no reason to keep him in now. Oh, missing low, it's 3-1. And again, I'm sure he wanted to finish, but there might have even been a plan to only work him a certain amount of innings. He's going 5, and he pitched very well today for the Rams. Husky now standing back in. Back over to first base. And Gloucester Catholic, and we mentioned they fell behind 1-0 in this game, and then Schleicher was pitching well. Corrado hit that home run that really changed the whole game. Missing low. As big as that inning was, it was a home run that, as we mentioned, when it was first hit, I think with the walk right now, Schleicher's thinking, well, that's not out of the park. It drops out of the park for a home run. It's 1-1, and it was all Gloucester Catholic after that.
Yep. All Gloucester Catholic. This is a game that we did certainly. We looked at the schedule. We looked at this one and kind of get excited by it. Not what we expected. We thought this would be a close, low-scoring game. Well, maybe not low-scoring, but I think you'd hover around 5 or 6 runs for each team.
It was for about 3 innings, and then the Rams going to work in the 4th. First pitch missing low. As DJ Robinson, we mentioned, standing in now for the Rams. His first at-bat. He has seen some time this year already with the Rams, however. Nubbed into the infield, and that'll be squeezed by the second baseman Risanito for out number 1. And that was a nasty pitch by Oliveri.
Now batting for Gloucester Catholic, Nick Corrado.
That brings Nick Corrado to the plate. What a day he has had. In addition to doing a fine job calling the right signals behind the plate for Lyson, has homered, doubled, flied out, and scored a pair of runs. Sing low for a ball, 1-0. Gloucester Catholic up 10-1 here in the 6th. Rips that one high into the air in right center field, carrying well. Bill Rice looking up, going all the way to the wall. It is gone! Second home run of the day for Nick Corrado as he goes to right center field. 13-1 Gloucester Catholic. As we said, the bottom of the order certainly doing its part for Gloucester Catholic.
It's the dew. I don't mean the Mountain Dew. I mean the haircut he has working.
What a day for Corrado. Pair of home runs now, a double. Knocked in now a total of 5 runs.
Now batting for Gloucester Catholic.
And now we have another substitution for Gloucester Catholic as Umba, who was DH for today, will now step into the DH spot and get a chance to bat. So nice move here by Coach Barth, giving him an at-bat today. Well, now 13 unanswered runs for the Rams. And how many years covering South Jersey baseball have we seen Gloucester Catholic where the Rams get their game going, they can play the number 1 team in South Jersey, the number 5 team, they can play anybody. They're just unstoppable. That's what they've been today. There's the score.
Well, a lot of people will look at this score tomorrow's paper and they'll be like, wow, what happened there? And it's just this Gloucester Catholic team, whatever they had for Easter dinner is working. All these guys have really come out and hit extremely well.
When nubs it foul over towards the dugout. And the Washington Township perspective, it's still a pretty darn good team. It's still a top 5 team in South Jersey. Biggest thing for the Minutemen with their schedules, they have to put this game behind them rather quickly. Missing for a ball. When you play in that conference, as we mentioned, when you're in the Olympic American, you look at who the Minutemen have next. They have a game coming up against Hamilton West, but Seneca, a team that was number 1 up next, Lenape, Cherokee, Eastern, a tough stretch. Minutemen will have little time to feel bad about this loss if indeed the score holds out as it is. Missing low for a ball. And right now, I think Bill Alvaro Jr. wants to see Lenny Oliveri finish this inning, not have to use another pitcher, and save the rest of his staff for the week. And into center field, that'll be a base hit. So the Gloucester Catholic hitting display continues as Mike Gumba, getting his first at-bat, is able to single.
Catholic.
And the Minutemen now forced to get some more bullpen activity is Brandon Boucher.
Brandon Boucher, yeah, he's a swimmer. Very good swimmer for Washington Township, now warming up in the pen for Minutemen.
Boucher, Minutemen may need an equal effort from land as by sea with him. As right now, Oliveri struggling, pitches inside for a ball. We mentioned when Oliveri came in, he made some good pitches early, had some tough luck. A bunt single, a jam job that was an infield single. Now this inning, he's laboring. And he's not throwing strikes, which has cost him in this inning. One of the 3 runs coming in via the walk, and you get behind these hitters, they do what Corrado did earlier. Off throw back to first, not in time. Of course, the Rams not planning on running anywhere here, up by 12. By again for a ball. 3-0 now the count. At this point, if you're Bill Alvaro, you're saying, come on, Lenny, throw strikes, and whatever happens, happen. Maybe a bit shell-shocked after that last home run. High fly ball into center field. Drifting back now is Stanley, the center fielder, able to make the catch. And that is out number 2 here in the 6th. And the Washington Township resident, Dan Mayo, will have the rest of the day off as he was scheduled to hit here. Now we'll have a pinch hitter coming in for Gloucester Catholic as John O'Hara comes to the plate. Go ahead, say it, Sean. I know you want to say it.
Hold the Mayo. I can't take credit for that one. That was inside the chalk from somebody. Hold the Mayo.
The Mayo's done its part today with a walk and a run scored, and of course, if the score holds up, we'll get bragging rights in his neighborhood now. We mentioned the Washington Township resident.
My apologies to Dan. You know, we're joking around. We kid because we love.
O'Hara looks at the first pitch for a strike. So now Gloucester Catholic can record 3 outs without giving up 3 runs. If the score holds up in the bottom of the 6th, the game will end. Ripped foul. It's a rule for baseball that was put in a while back. Not expected for a game like this, but it does help when you get some of those mismatches and some of those conference matchups, and it's something that needed to be put in. It was in for softball for years, and baseball hadn't. O'Hara looks at the next pitch inside. Goes up another high pitch. So, for these players too, Sean, that aren't starters for Gloucester Catholic, you want to get up there, you want to have a good at-bat, and you want to take that next step when you get a chance to play the next season. All 3rd strike, and that'll retire the side, but more damage done by Gloucester Catholic. 3 more runs on 3 hits for the Rams. No Washington Township errors and 1 left on. Bottom of the 6th, Gloucester Catholic 13, Washington Township 1, and the Rams now, Sean, 3 outs away from snapping their very brief losing streak.
Yeah, Lyson's going to go down to short. I'm not sure who's coming in to pitch. Wasn't able to take a look at that, but yeah, very brief losing streak. Like you said, they're not going to. That's Dan Marcellus, actually, that's coming out on the mound for the Rams.
So Marcellus will get a chance to finish this one off, and we mentioned what's coming up this week for Washington Township. Gloucester Catholic, a rematch with Overbrook coming up next week. This is their only game scheduled for the week. So a week from today, they'll play Overbrook. We mentioned the Rams played them tough earlier, actually this past week, the 8-6 game, and then another look at Deptford, who the Rams pounded earlier this year by 60 runs before Clearview, Cumberland, Highland. So now the conference schedule really starting to kick in.
Yeah, it's good to get a win like this after a tough loss on Saturday. Now you get into that conference schedule. Regain the momentum for the team that they started earlier in the year.
Always said of the 3 sports seasons for South Jersey, it seems like the spring season, baseball and softball and track always goes by the fastest, because football you have the build-up and you have the week-long games, and you have soccer and field hockey and all the other sports during the week, and that carries through from September to November. Baseball or basketball, obviously, and the other winter sports, they start practicing in November, you start in December, you go all the way through to March. Baseball, softball, the other sports, you start it in early April, and by the end of May, you're close to the finish line already.
Yeah, spring season. I love the spring season for one of those reasons. Everything's happening. It's very exciting. A lot going on. You can keep it on track of it. Of course, it's nice to get outside.
Sidearm delivery by Marsalis, missing high and inside for a ball. So another look here at D'Imperio. He's 0 for 2 today, but we mentioned someone who certainly is going to do his part on the next level when he continues to impress the way he has. Ground ball slowly to third, grab, throw over to first base, and not in time. Good hustle by D'Imperio, and he's a leadoff base runner here in the 6th. And we made the comment earlier that for Washington Township, this is a day they want to forget about, but don't think that dugout is saying, well, it's 13-1 if we go down here. That's the end. These guys will fight to the last out, just like Catholic will.
Hey, not somebody you want to take your time with. D'Imperio, we said he had 16 stolen bases last year. A guy with terrific speed, although he's a beast. He's a big, strong kid that can really be a devastating power hitter. He also has great wheels. Can steal your bases. It can move down the line, as we saw him bust it down there for an infield hit.
On the inside corner for a strike. Excellent pitch there by Marsalis. Gloucester Catholic looking to go 7-1, looking to hand the Minutemen their first loss of the season. They're 3 outs away, up by 12 here in the bottom of the 6th. Gorski with a high chopper towards the hole, knocked down by Eliason. Long throw over to first base, won't get him. So a pair of infield singles for Washington Township, and scrambling back to second is D'Imperio. So the Minutemen have runners at first and second. Nobody out in the 6th. This is just the second time today they've had their leadoff runner on. The first time today, both hitters have reached safely before the first out was recorded. So third baseman Mike Schatzman stands in.
Schatzman, he's Mr. TNT. This guy is very diminutive, not a huge kid, but man, is there a lot of power in this little guy. He's crushed a pitch into the right center field gap his last time up. He's got that short center of gravity, but a guy with a lot of pop coming off his bat.
Another chopper towards short. Eliason will field this one, has nowhere to go. So the base is loaded on 3 infield singles. And really not much Eliason could do about that. It would have been a long throw to first. Took a look to third. Maybe if he had gone to first, he would have had a shot, but it still would have been a tough play.
Yeah, Schatzman's another guy like D'Imperio, although he might be a physical guy, he also has good speed getting down the line. Eliason, not too sure if he was able to get that, but he at least could have tried to throw it over there. Again, D'Imperio's hustle. D'Imperio, I mean, he's a big dude, but he has terrific speed on the base pads. Terrific. I mean, he got off the second base in a hurry.
And you see the line on Pat Moffitt today, 0 for 2. He has struck out, reached on a fielder's choice. Outside for a ball, 2-0. So the Minutemen have loaded the bases without the ball leaving the infield in this 6th inning. Right down the middle for a strike, as it appeared Moffitt was taking all the way there.
Sure, when you need 12 runs, you need to get them one at a time. And the walk rate here is as good as a single. You plate the runner, still keep it going. Put the pressure on the pitcher.
Chopped at the plate, and now the count evens up at 2-2.
Even in this instance, if I'm down by this much, I don't even really want a grand slam. You know, you want to keep the pressure on the pitcher, and to have those guys around the base pads, on the bases, I would definitely rather have them on there and just moving around, keep it moving.
It sounds crazy when you first think about it, but it's not a bad theory. You hit a grand slam, then if you're Marcellus, you say, okay, it's 13-5, you got an 8-run lead, bases empty, you start over. Inside right now, Marcellus, the last thing he wants to do is issue a base on balls. It's 3-2 to Pat Moffitt.
There you go, kid. That way, 5.
Time called, so Moffitt will get a chance to step back in. The Imperial at third, Gorski at second, Schatzman at first, nobody out, bottom of the 6th. Popped up, high towards the right side. Who wants it? Drifting in is the right fielder, and he makes the catch and will make the long throw home. Takes a bit of a bad hop, nice block by Corrado, and Marcellus was there as a backup just in case, so the runners do not move up, and it's 1 out.
Favatello making a good pitch, getting the pitch up a little bit. Moffitt going after it. Too close to take that pitch. I don't know if it would have been called a ball. I think it might have been up a little bit, but it might have been called a strike.
As you said, Moffitt not taking any chances. Pretty good pitch there by Marcellus, and now Favatello stands in, has doubled and struck out. Good pitch that time for a strike. No question that one was over the plate.
It's a carbon copy curve of what we saw from Eliason earlier on that inside part. Goes toward the hitter and then breaks right on the inside part of the plate for a strike.
Jam job, pop foul towards the third base side, foul territory. There's out number 2 as Zanuski squeezes that. So Marcellus has come back nicely, and again, he couldn't be faulted for any of the 3 hits, and now 2 outs, bases loaded. So Marcellus throws really the right pitch on 3-2, borderline. The hitter has to swing, and then jams Favatello coming inside. So Stanley now trying to keep the game alive for Washington Township. Marcellus' breaking ball coming quite effective here in the latter part of this inning. This time it goes out of the strike zone, but he fools Stanley. So the Minutemen down to their last strike.
I give him the same pitch again.
The Minutemen need 3 to keep this game alive here in the bottom of the 6th, down by 12. They have the bases loaded. High chopper towards short. That'll drop into left field for a base hit. Coming to score is D'Imperio. Gorski, though, is forced to hold because left fielder Jim Scholl did a nice job to get on that ball quickly. Base is still loaded. A run crosses the plate for Washington Township. It is 13-2. And now you get the top of the order up. Good job by Stanley down 0-2 to get that hit.
Hey, you're right. He really fought that at bat off as he had a horrible swing at the second pitch, a curve. That ball was left up just a little bit. Stanley with a nice piece of hitting is able to shoot a throw and give Racino a chance to keep this game alive.
Missing low for a ball. And yeah, we say Gloucester Catholic, sure they want to finish this now. The other factor is if you're Coach Barth, you get through this inning, that means one less inning you have to send a pitcher out. One more inning he's available for. Even though they have a week off, it keeps his arm a bit more fresh. Inside, misses away, but the runners will hold. As hustling back nicely is Corrado. So now, count is 2-0. Again, the base is loaded here, 2 out. Marcellus and go with the fastball here as Sanito stands in 0 for 3. Just missed. Corrado tried to frame it, but it was out of the strike zone. So 3-0, the count to Resinito, who will be taking here.
Mike Rice on deck does have 2 hits today.
for a called strike.
Other than Schatzman, the only Minutemen with 2 hits.
See if he's still taking here 3-1. He watches it go low. Ball 4. Another run crosses the plate. So it is 13-3 Gloucester Catholic. And again, now if you're Washington Township, you get another run home. You keep the game alive for another inning. And here's Bill Rice, as Sean alluded to earlier, 2 hits today, 2 for 3. He's also popped out to second base. He has stolen a base. He has scored a run. Popped up in the infield. Looks like Umba's going to squeeze it now, having a bit of trouble with the sun. But he's able to put it away to end the ball game for Gloucester Catholic. Now the Minutemen get 2 in the 6th. They don't quit, but Gloucester Catholic able to finish it off. Washington Township sends 8 hitters to the plate in the 6th. They score 2 runs, but not enough. Gloucester Catholic a winner 13-3. Two teams will shake hands, and as they do, we will step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll have our post game. The final score again, Gloucester Catholic 13, Washington Township 3. Back with more on Comcast Channel 5 right after this.
Welcome back to Washington Township High School. An impressive performance today for the Gloucester Catholic Rams. They're coming off a loss this past weekend. They come right back, beat an outstanding Washington Township team 13-3. Coach Barth joins us first. And I know, Coach, you were telling me before the game you felt like, well, maybe some of your hitters haven't been coming around as much as you like. That seems to be changing, but was a lot of it, too, some of the things you were able to manufacture and things you're doing on the base path?
Well, we don't really run too good, so we got to hit some home runs. Unfortunately, this is a good field for us to play on. So we got a lot of strong kids, but we did do a little bit of bunting, got a few down, and that helps create a big inning. But truthfully, Nicky Crowder came in with 2 big hits, and we had a lot of good hits today. We still got a couple guys to get hitting in our lineup before I'll be happy, but we're getting there.
Seems like your pitcher, Mike Eliason, we'll get to what happened later in the game in a moment, seemed to settle down a little bit more. Was the key really the way he was able to get his curveball going in the middle innings? Well,
Mikey can throw 3 strikes with 3 different pitches, so fastball, curveball, change, and we're pretty much confident to run him out there against anybody. He's only a sophomore, but he pitches like a senior.
I know we're going to hear from him soon, but how is he? A scary moment certainly late in the game when he took that line drive, what looked like it went right off the temple.
Yeah, I was scared when he went down. Mikey's a two-way guy for us. You lose a pitcher and an infielder, but when something like that happens, you just hope the kid's alive, man. He took a shot, but he's a tough kid. He bounced right back.
We know finally you lost so many players to graduation, but here's everyone else picking up the slack. How much do these players learn from the players that just went ahead of them and the guys waiting in the wings? It just seems to carry on year in and year out.
Well, we always say, like, our practice is you're going against the best pitchers we think around. Like last year we had Braddock and 2 guys were drafted. Another pitcher, Kevin O'Hara, was undefeated in high school and Legion. So they were 3 of the best pitchers in South Jersey. These guys got to face them every day in inter squad and all that stuff. We play a lot of inter squad, go head to head because we want to see good pitching. So they're, if you can play against them guys every day, you should be able to play against anybody.
Coach Barth, another brief losing streak for your team. Congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
And now we have the winning battery standing by with Sean. A big day for Gloucester Catholic. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're here with Nick Corrado. And Nick, I joked about your do. Coach said the same thing. He said it's a do for this guy. Ever since he had the new do, he's starting to crush the ball. Does that have anything to do with it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I had long hair. I just decided to get it on spring break.
You had a couple. Seems like Saturday you started. You had a couple of doubles there, and then a couple of home runs here today. Tell us about the first one.
Well, just trying to sit back on a fastball. He gave me a high fastball, then he threw something in the roundhouse. I thought I popped it up at first too, and it just kept rising out there.
When you have a stretch like this, where a couple of games you start really crushing the ball, what's it like up there? Do you feel like every single pitch that's coming in, you're able to crush?
I mean, yeah, you kind of feel hot before you go out to bat. You kind of feel eager. Then you go out to bat and you feel confident more than others when you're going 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 1 for 3, things like that.
Well, congratulations to you. Hopefully you continue this hitting streak of putting the ball around. Speaking about putting the ball around, we were really scared looking at you coming in with that ball that was hit. Explain what you saw, because I'm sure it was a blink of an eye.
Saw the line drive. I didn't even know what happened. The ball was right in my face before I knew it. And then I knew I had no shot at catching it. So it just nailed me. and I just dropped.
For those who didn't know, since I didn't introduce him, Mike Eliason, the starting pitcher, that's a scary moment. Even for us, we're looking at it, we're like, wow, hopefully it didn't hit him flush. And luckily for you, it just kind of skimmed off you a little bit.
Yeah, it just skimmed right off, went right on top of my ear, skimmed right off and went into center field.
It's hard to compose yourself after something like that, right?
Yeah, it's all right. Just tried the best I could and got back up there.
Now, you seem to have pretty much control of the entire game. Was this one of your better pitching performances going up against a very good Washington Township team?
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to stay focused and hit my spots. Barry was doing a great job calling the pitches. Just trying to mix it up, keep them off balance a little bit, just trying to hit my spots.
In a big game like this, you're a sophomore, you're coming in, and your coach obviously has some confidence in you. What's that say for you right now as a sophomore and for the rest of your career? That must tell you a lot about what the coach thinks of your performance, and you're able to be able to handle a team like the Minutemen.
Yeah, it makes me feel a lot more confident. So when I go out there, I know everybody's got my back. I don't have to worry about anything.
Real quickly, how big of a win was it against a team like this? I think they're ranked number 2 or 5 in the South Jersey.
It was huge. Before the year even started, we wanted this game. We had this game circled on our schedule. We definitely wanted this game. It was a big win.
Well, a huge win for you guys. Congratulations, and thankfully, I'm glad to see that you're okay and able to do an interview with us after the game. Good luck the rest of the way. Well, it's good to have an interview with him because it was a pretty scary thing to see that happen. And luckily, he just skimmed him. Terrific game by for Gloucester Catholic. Terrific win for them.
So a huge win for the Rams, 13-3. Meanwhile, Washington Township, we know they'll rebound. A tough loss today. Could see these two teams meeting again in the Diamond Classic. Once again, the final score from Washington Township High School, the Gloucester Catholic Rams 13, the Washington Township Minutemen 3. Thanks to Stan Ritter and our entire crew. For Shawn, this is Ed Benkin saying so long, everybody.